What's going on, everybody? We are here, and it is time for the throwdown.
Hold on, back it up. Is the queen new? Because I don't think I've ever seen that before on the Street Fighter clip. You know what I'm
I don't
talking
know.
about? Anyway, we'll have to go back and look at that. Anyway, we might have the queen on that page. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Weekly Throwdown. I'm your host, Jordan Thomas, with my trusty co-host.
I am Chris Fox out of the effing Sports Show. We are both repping Fantasy Sports Core, and you guys need to be repping them too because, man, we just inform you, we entertain you, we give you all the news you need, and honestly, it's just a great time. So, welcome to the
We
Fantasy Sports
are
Corporation
here.
right here, and you are too, and we're glad you're here. Uh, every week we kind of run this down, and it always turns out a little bit different. But the gist of it is me, my friend Jordan here, 5 topics handed to us by Her Majesty herself. We debate them out. Someone wins, Jordan loses, and we come back and do it again the next week.
No.
I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. I am.
Let's do
Man,
this.
I was born ready to go. Let's do this.
Toe the line, gentlemen.
All right, and
Appreciate everybody showing up. Look, while you guys are here, as long as you're sitting here and we're kind of easing into this thing, there's a little bell on your little thing, ring it. You know what I mean? Subscribe, get notifications, know when Fantasy Sports Core is coming on, know when the throwdown's coming in. We appreciate it. And give us a comment. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know topics you want us to cover. Let us know how dumb Jordan's answers are and how smart I am. And, just keep coming back every week. But no, by subscribing and liking the channel. We appreciate it, to be perfectly honest. And so thank you for doing it.
yeah, we've got lots of good ass content on this channel too. So if you ain't checking out us, check out Dynasty Hour, check out TSS, check out PSR, that effing sports show, whoever's streaming on our platform. That's it. But anyway, I introduced myself. We introduced my lovely co-host, but we didn't introduce the most important lady in all of our lives, Your Majesty.
Your queen has arrived. Acknowledge me.
Oh, crap. Here it goes.
Here it is.
America's team, the Miami Dolphins, will win the AFC East. Tell me why, or argue with me and get the taste slapped out your mouth.
Ooh, tell her why. I'll tell you why. The Miami Dolphins, America's team, is absolutely, in my opinion, going to win this division. Listen, I love Buffalo. And, man, I really have been ringing the bell for the Jets for a minute, even though they got that stinking, smelly sack of flesh, Aaron Rodgers. I hate that guy. The Miami Dolphins are the best team in this division. Top to bottom, we got a little bit of a nibble, got a little bit of a taste of what they could be last year. Tyreek Hill with Tua Tagovailoa tore it the hell up. Jalen Waddle took another step forward. These guys have speed for days. They added more speed in the running back room. And if that wasn't enough, they went out and they got Jalen freaking Ramsey. Are you kidding me? Add in, I don't know if it'll happen, but I mean, there's a little bit of smoke and fire with Dalvin Cook in the mix too. I don't know if that happens, but even without Dalvin Cook, this is the fastest team in the league. This might be the best offense in the league. And listen, I love what Buffalo's doing, but I don't think they win this division this year. Miami's hungry. Tua's ready. As long as that man can stay healthy and stay upright, Miami Dolphins are going to be a top 2 seed in the AFC.
Oh man, I wish that were true in a sense. I used to be a Dolphins fan till Marino retired, and look, nobody is pulling for Tua more than I am. I mean, I want this guy to succeed, but honestly, that injury is just too gnarly. The guy's not going to be able to make the season. I truly, sincerely sorry, America's team fans, but Miami is not going to be able to win this division because Tua is not going to be able to stay on his feet. I wish he could, but he's not going to be able to. So that leaves it to the rest of the field, and there's this team, the New York Football Jets. I know, but last year, without the change at QB, they started off at 5-2. Now they lost 7 of their last 8. Room for improvement, but I think that they made it. Look, they got the Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson, on offense, and they got the Rookie of the Year on defense in the South. Man, Gardner Wilson did over 1,100 yards, good enough for wide receiver 14 in that ridiculous, horribly, just god-awful offense that they had. Wilson still good enough for wide receiver 14, 83 catches on 147 targets. Are you kidding me? Those guys should even throw the ball 147 times. Breece Hall, bad man, coming back 5.8 yards a carry before he went down. 4th in total defense were the Jets, 3rd versus the pass, 1st against pass touchdowns allowed, thanks to the South. And you may have heard that
I love it.
A pretty decent quarterback who can't win a playoff game, but he can absolutely get there. They played the Giants, they played the Chargers, they played the Raiders, they played the Falcons, they played Houston, they played Washington, they played Cleveland, and they even played New England twice. And yeah, Rodgers is 1-1, but even split those games, you got yourself a pretty damn good record. Good enough for the top of the NFC East, except for that change at QB. Aaron Rodgers, he was more than likely going to screw everything up, and I got the Buffalo Bills edging them out just a little bit. I got the Bills, I got the Jets splitting the home game wins. I actually have them tied 11-5 at the end of the season, but the Bills are going to do enough somehow in the mathematical portion to get this division. The Jets will screw it up. The Bills are still the team. They haven't made hardly any changes, so there's really no reason to think they're going to do any worse than they already have. It's going to be the Bills. It's not going to be the Dolphins. It's not going to be the Jets. And it's definitely not going to be New England. The Bills carry through.
I don't know if you saw this, Chris, but switching that to the Buffalo Bills, it made Travis Kelce laugh so hard he fucking fell down. That's how ridiculous that was. Man, you had me going with the Jets. I was ready, but Queen, who won?
Let's just see who gets a damn point.
Point, Jordan.
Spoiler
Look,
alert, Dead Texas and America's team will always give you points.
Absolutely no shot with that one. As soon as you went Miami, we knew which way that one was going. It's a bunch of bullshit, but let's see what the
love those Jets though, man. I can't when you got to talking about them, I love them. I love them. Except for Aaron Rodgers, I freaking hate that guy.
3 of the 4 teams in the AFC South have a new QB. Which one of these noobs will suck less than you clowns?
God, all of them. I mean, let's just be real. They're all going to suck. They're all going to be horrible. I don't know what you want. You want a winning record? Because it's not going to happen. None of them are getting a winning record. They are the worst division in football. The entire thing. They're the worst. Absolute worst. They're going to stay the worst. Jags are the only team worth even watching in that entire division. Look, the Titans have screwed up the QB position so bad. I 100% expect them to take a QB again next year. Stroud, 0 receiving options, and he has to play the Jags twice. He's got to play Rodgers and the Jets twice. Or not twice, but he's got to play Rodgers and the Jets. He's got to play Burrow. He's got to play Lamar. He's got to play Carr, which is it is Carr, but it's still a hell of a lot better than Stroud. He's even got to play Wilson, who's got Peyton to help him out now. Levis has JT, thank God, and then he's got nothing else. I mean, we can talk up Paris Campbell. I like Paris Campbell. It's not enough to get a winning record. He plays the Jags twice again. They play the AFC North. They got to play Miami with or without Tua. They got to play Seattle's D. They got to play New England's D. I got both Houston and Tennessee for 5 wins each. I gave the Colts an extra one because of Levis with 6. Ain't none of that anywhere near a winning record. They all suck. Ain't nobody going to do any good out of these 3 kids. It's not their fault, but they're not going to.
Okay, bold take. 3 of the top 4 rookie quarterbacks are going to suck, and the only other one we got is in Carolina. He probably going to suck too. We'll talk about that next week. But listen, I'm just going to say this, right? And I agree. Jaguars is a class of the division. I'll talk about that a little bit more later tonight, Chris. But I'm not a big CJ Stroud guy, and I think the Houston Texans might be the worst offensive team in the league. Like, I don't even know who their number 1 wide receiver is at this point.
Yeah.
And whoever it is, he ain't good, right? They better hope John Mechie comes back and just does something, because
like that'll matter.
It ain't there, man. It just ain't there. Also, we haven't seen that franchise be able to do anything to build any kind of a consistent team around any quarterback since Matt Schaub, right? You got the Colts and you got Richardson, who sneakily has some weapons. He does have JT, and you mentioned JT. I think JT's a little overhyped, but you know who I think is a little underhyped? Michael Pittman. Keep coming back to this well. I'm a Michael freaking Pittman guy through and through. I said it last year. I'll say it this year. I'll say it next year. And the one after, I love that kid. And no matter what, no matter who is throwing him the damn ball, that guy produces. And everybody wants to say he took a step back last year, but that kid almost had 1,000 yards with guys like Sam freaking Ellinger throwing him the ball. I'm a Longhorn fan, and I'm going to tell you, Sam Ellinger, baby, he ain't it. But listen, I'm not picking either of these. You want to know who I think has the best opportunity to succeed this year? His name is Will Levis, and it's because I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill anymore. I used to always be all about some Ryan Tannehill, late Miami days, early Tennessee days. It's over. It's done. Stick a fork in him. I don't think he's going to make it, right? Will Levis, I thought, was going to be somebody the Titans drafted in the first round. Instead, they got him all the way on day 2, so it was a steal. I think he is a better talent than Stroud. Come at me. Let's bring it. I don't think he's a better fantasy asset than Richardson, but I think he's a better quarterback than Richardson. I think Will Levis is a sneaky, decent play. Now, I dislike the Tennessee Titans receivers almost as bad as the Texans, right? It's rough in Tennessee. And again, I live in Arkansas, so I know a thing or two about Treylon Burks. He ain't it. Listen to me. Screw that kid. But I will tell you this. Chikakonkwo, I think there's something to that guy. And they still have, in my opinion, if healthy, the single best offensive weapon in the NFL. And if I'm Will Levis and I get my opportunity and all I have to do is 32 times a game turn around and hand it to King Henry and watch the hell out, somehow, some way, the Tennessee Titans are always in the mix at the end. Always think they're going to be terrible, and yet somehow, some way, it's week 17 and it's like, okay, the Titans, they need these 4 things to happen, but they're right outside of the playoffs. I think it happens again. Give me Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans. Ugh.
Only reason he's going to get a winning record is if the Tennessee Titans get one, because he's going to be lucky to see the field. Queenie, give me my point. All right?
Point, Chris.
Come on.
Just pick everybody and nobody. How does he get
nobody? Because look, the truth is the truth. And you know what the truth is? The truth is you can get a free $100. You want to know how? I'll tell you how. Gingerbread!
Fantasy Sports Corp and Underdog Fantasy have teamed up to start your fantasy season off in the win column with Best Ball. What is Best Ball? It's quite simply the easiest way to win. No team management, no trades, no waivers. It's their biggest contest ever and it has only gotten bigger. You simply have to sit, and win. You don't even have to set your lineup. Always get your best score every week. Just enter a contest, draft your team, and Underdog will do the rest. What could make this even better? How about free money, up to $100 using our exclusive promo code? Go online now and use the promo code THROWDOWN to double your deposit up to $100. You tell them Gingerbread sent you. Good girl.
Such a good girl. That's the best girl. I love me some Gingerbread. But listen to my dog, Gingerbread, and go on over to Underdog Fantasy and throw down that promo code THROWDOWN for $100.
$300. Let's go. They should give us $100 if we win this show, but I don't think it's in the budget. Ma'am, question number 3, please.
You both get paid exactly what you're worth. Nothing. But both Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson need to prove they're worth the paycheck. Can either of them prove they are worth the money?
All right.
Okay, it's my turn on this one, right?
Yeah, go ahead. I like that.
That is a decent question. Yeah, absolutely. One of these guys is a former MVP, and he's the guy that he's already done. He ain't going to be that guy anymore. Listen, Deshaun Watson, the last time we saw him, things were rough, but he was coming off almost an entire year's suspension, had all kinds of legal problems, had all sorts of stuff going on, right? All sorts of distractions. But the last time we saw Deshaun Watson on a football field for a full season, he was with those same sorry-ass Houston Texans that we just talked about, who are incapable of putting talent around this guy, right? And I get it. They had D-Hop for a minute. But what they do, they traded him away, right? So I'm looking at Deshaun Watson that last season, 4,800 yards. 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 112.4 QBR. Deshaun Watson is an elite quarterback, and people forget that. Deshaun Watson is closer to Pat Mahomes than Deshaun is to Lamar Jackson. That's what I think. I think Lamar Jackson, look, he's a phenomenal runner, but that's going to catch up to him. I don't think he has the ability to sling the ball to the degree that Deshaun does. And I look around this Cleveland team, and man, do they have some weapons, right? You have Amari Cooper, who's the best wide receiver 2 of all time. You can't change my mind. He's the new Emmanuel Sanders, folks. Give me all the Amari Cooper. You got Nicholas Chubb, who's just locked in as an RB1 year after year after year. You got David Njoku, a guy who was a first-round pick, took a couple of years to develop, but man, they've leaned more and more and more on him. And then you've got Elijah Moore, the guy who gave me my raging one for the New York Jets coming into last season. Like, I love this kid, and it didn't work out, but man, do I think he's about to eat in this offense. I think Deshaun Watson has at least 30 touchdowns and at least 4,500 yards passing this season. It's Deshaun Watson. Give me a back rub.
Down. Holy cow. Look, I like, the opportunity. I like the potential of Watson, but that's all it is right now. And so you asked me to pick one. Again, I don't want to pick either of them, but I'm not going to do that. I will pick one. You picked Watson. I will go ahead and pick Jackson. Look, Jackson was a number 3 rushing quarterback in the league last year, and he only played in 12 games. Imagine what he gets for the full season. Well, we already know what he gets for the full season because we've seen it before. But no one expects Jackson to throw the ball like Mahomes or Allen or Burrow or even Rodgers. He's not a prolific passer. Breaking news, right? But the guy can ball. First year, 14 wins. I mean, they've had double-digit wins every year except 2021 when he only played 12 games. Last year they had double-digit wins, and okay, they weren't all his, but they still got there, and they got there in large part to Lamar Jackson. I don't like it when quarterbacks get their bag. When quarterbacks get their bag, they fall off the face of the earth. There's always a slump, but both these guys got their bag, and both of them have something to prove. Watson especially has something to prove, but Lamar has something to prove to the entire fan base, to the entire NFL, to everybody who hated on him, that he deserved this money. I don't like quarterbacks to get the bag, but I expect Lamar to ball out numbers-wise this year. Big numbers. You predict big numbers for Watson. I predict the same big numbers for Lamar, just not through the air. Lamar's going to earn that bag, and both these guys are going to put out an effort. Lamar will just come out on top. That's all I'm saying.
Point. Jordan.
Whatever.
As if there was ever any doubt.
Because everybody likes the passer. I got it. Watson's a better passer. I don't think
it's not even that everybody. Whoa. Chicks dig the long ball. Chicks dig the long ball. Chicks love the speed. They dig the speed, right? Everybody wants to talk about. Listen, Michael Vick, Vince Young, Deshaun Watson, or not Deshaun, Lamar Jackson, all these running quarterbacks, they always get all the love, man. People forget about them pocket passers. I'm rocking with Deshaun because I'm just going to say this. One more thing. I already got the point, so I don't even need to belabor it. But how many 4,000-yard seasons does Lamar Jackson have combined?
Yeah. No, I hear you. Look, like I said, that's not news. That's not news. But he's going to ball out. But I mean,
contentious, folks.
If you want to claim the throne, you must beat the best. Does any team in the West have a shot at knocking the Chiefs off the top? How about you 2 sacks of crap? You want a shot at the title? I didn't think so. Acknowledge me.
Okay, all right.
Well,
sack of crap. You played my horn early, Queenie. All right, so which AFC team has the best shot to dethrone the Chiefs?
Again,
you want to go?
You want to say none of them? Okay. I know. Oh, you want to say none of them. I want to say none of them because it's a trap question. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. It's a trap. Don't fall into it and think that somebody's going to dethrone Kansas City. I mean, the Chargers don't have the defense. Fantastic offense that never lives up to potential. Herbert, QB2 in yards, QB9 in touchdowns, 25 touchdowns to only 10 interceptions. I mean, that's pretty awesome. The receivers can't stay healthy. Eckler isn't top of anything. He was number 2 in receiving running back yards receiving yards for a running back. We'll get there because it's not natural. You shouldn't have to say that. He's a running back. He shouldn't have to be the top receiver on the team. It's an interesting stat. It's a fun stat. It's great for fantasy. I'll take Eckler all day long in a fantasy situation. But when your running back is your number 1 receiver from the number 2 quarterback yardage-wise, that's a problem. Denver, they're still going to be working things out. They're going to be much, much better than they have been, but not that much to take down Kansas City and Vegas. I like Vegas. They got a capable QB, a fantastic wide receiver. I think wide receiver 3 in yards, number 2 in targets, 1 in touchdowns. I mean, you got the receiving. You got the number 1 rusher in the NFL. On the other side of the ball, you got Max Crosby, who's a freaking maniac. And I just told you every single bright spot that Las Vegas has. That's it. They got nothing else. They don't have accessory pieces. They don't have any supporting cast. I ruined the movie. The previews have ruined the entire movie. Now you don't have to see it because I just spoiled it.
Thank God.
The British mouth there said it herself. To be the best, you got to beat the best. And none of these teams have a shot to take Kansas City down. But I got to pick one up. Sure, I'll take the Chargers, whatever.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now what you left off on the Chargers is they signed Kellen Moore, and that's a death sentence to my boy Justin Herbert. So, R.I.P. It's been nice knowing you on my fantasy teams. I ain't going to have any more of you. So, we want to talk about the Raiders. Yeah, you said the whole movie. I don't want to watch it. That's going to stay in that $5 bin at Walmart. It's going to go on clearance around Thanksgiving, and nobody's going to buy it then either. Nobody wants to see the Jimmy Garoppolo redemption arc. It's over. The ship sailed. Sorry, Devontae Adams. You dug your own grave here. Listen. Is anybody going to dethrone the Chiefs? Hell no. Not in the AFC West. No way, no how, no shot. But let's say something crazy happens, right? Let's say if Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes run into each other on the field and miss 15 games, right? Nothing major, but, let's say the Chiefs stumble. And let's say Andy Reid, for whatever reason, takes, 6 months off, right? say the whole world burns down for Kansas City. At that point, the winner of that division would be the 6-11 Denver Broncos. All right. So that's how I feel. This division sucks outside of Kansas City. If there's any team that can figure it out, I do think it's the Denver Broncos. I was the guy that was kind of saying last season, like, let's see what Sean Payton can do, because I think Sean Payton's end in New Orleans was more mediocre than people remember. He had an all-time great in Drew Brees, and he really didn't capitalize on a lot of those last several seasons.
That's true.
But I still believe in Danger Russ. He had a rough year. Didn't go well his first year. I think he can recapture the magic just a little bit, although I do think people are probably looking at Pete Carroll a little bit different now that he's making Geno Smith ball up in Seattle while Russell's floundering in Denver. But, man, I'm still repping my boy Cortland Sutton. I still don't like Jerry Jeudy, but I still think he's a good football player. I think the ship has sailed on my boy Albert Akui-Bunam, so I'm really pissed off. I spent the 16 hours last offseason learning how to perfectly pronunciate his name, but our Albert Akui-Bunam, he's gone. But in his place, I really do like Greg Dulcich. I think Denver is a sneaky team that could come out and win 7 or 8 games. So to answer your question, ain't nobody dethroning the Chiefs, but if anybody could, I think it would be the Broncos.
And that's just silly.
Point, Chris.
Well, it's a good effort, though. I mean, you actually picked one. I give you kudos for that, because you actually went with one, and you knew it wasn't, good. But what you're saying.
All right, I'm getting a little nervous. I thought I had that one in the bag. I guess let's go on to question 5.
Here we go.
Forget about the AFC West. Is there any team in the entire AFC that can replace the Chiefs? Here's a hint, window lickers. They play in Miami. Now, if I could only find anyone to replace you two.
Yeah, you know what? I might lose this game. I don't care, because there's no way in hell I'm taking Miami to beat Kansas City. Maybe if they were healthy. They are the fastest team in the NFL. You could maybe make a case, and you still might very well do that, my friend, but it's not going to be me. I'm not going to do it. In the AFC, is there anybody good enough that could take out the Kansas City Chiefs? No, I don't even believe that one. But there is one team.
I was about to say.
There is one team, and it's Joe Cool and the Cincinnati Bengals. They got a shot. They got a shot. I mean, forget about the history, which supports the statement in every way. Let's look to the future. They play the Browns twice. They play Baltimore twice. They play the Rams. They play the Titans. They play the Cardinals, Houston, Indy. They play Minnesota in Cincinnati in December. So you can forget about, that whole Jefferson factor. And out of their remaining 6 games that I didn't mention, 2 of them are against Pittsburgh, Seattle, Buffalo, San Francisco, and KC. Those are those big games. Those are their big 6. If they pull off even 3 of them, you're still looking at 13 wins without really breaking a sweat. So Cincinnati should be there. We love when these two teams play. Mahomes got them last year, but Burrow's still up 3-1 on these guys. All these games were within 3 points. These are classic games. I want this game to happen again. And in a 3-point game, there's a shot. There's a good shot that Cincinnati might be able to finally figure it out, and they might be able to get past Kansas City this year. I don't know. Let's wait and see. But if someone's got a shot, anybody's got a shot in the AFC. The best shot for me is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay. Well, I mean, we've seen the Cincinnati Bengals take out the Kansas City Chiefs. That's happened. We've watched it. We've watched Joe Burrow emerge and overcome the great Patrick Mahomes. That has happened. However, there is a team that I believe in just a little bit more than Joe Cool and the Cincinnati Bengals, and I might be in the minority here.
Well, you've been wrong all show. I mean, let's keep going.
I've been right all show. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's not play that game, Chris. Look, it's simple to me. The time has arrived. The chosen one is about to emerge. The prince that was promised, as my boy Nick Wright would call him. Listen. It isn't America's team, and I love the Miami Dolphins. It is time for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, now I thought you were going to go.
T-Law, Trevor Lawrence. Are you kidding me? This guy made a run last year with Christian Kirk. Who was his wide receiver too? Zay Jones. Wasn't that guy just out of the league like 3 freaking years ago? Zay Jones, quick, name me their wide receiver 3. And time's up. You can't because he didn't exist. All right, listen. This Jaguars team was pathetic. It had no business playing with the big boys last year, but guess what they did? And it's because of Trevor Lawrence, who is very much just as hyped coming out of college as what Joe Burrow was. I think this is the year he takes his leap. And then I think the discussion next year becomes, well, we got Trevor Lawrence, we got Joe Burrow, we got Patrick Mahomes. Is Josh Allen even in this equation? Is he even a top 3 quarterback at this point? But I'm not here to take shots at Josh Allen. I'll let America's team, the Miami Dolphins, do that all season long. But to me, this Jacksonville Jaguars team, I think people are very much underrating the acquisition of Calvin Ridley, who last time he played a full season on the NFL football field, he was wide receiver 3 in fantasy football formats with Matt Ryan. And spoiler alert, Matt Ryan's not that good anymore. I think Trevor Lawrence is about to eat. I think he's about to ascend. I think he's about to absolutely dominate the NFL this season. This is his season. And Queenie, I'm sorry I didn't say America's team, but I did say some good stuff about him. So give me my win.
Jordan, you may have sufficiently kissed my ass, but there is no way I can stare at your face for another minute. Chris, consider yourself king of the idiots. I'm out, bitches.
I am the winner. Look at me. Oh, play my song. I want to hear my song.
Winner, Chris.
This is a
Play my other song. I want the other one. There it is. That's my one. Damn, there's one more song I want to play. But Jordan, I want to say before I play it, I don't have a lot of hate on that answer. I think the Jags are going to do really well this year. I think what does it for me is put them both at the end. You got to put them against each other. Both are answers, Cincinnati versus the Jags. And I think in that case, I still got Cincinnati coming on top. I don't know. How do you feel about it? Tune in next.
Winner, Jordan.
It's sweet. It's sweet. Winning is sweet. I love Jordan. I actually do want to know what his answer is. Tune in next week. Maybe you'll find out. But this week, you get to listen to me because I am the king of the idiots, as Her Majesty says. And that means I get the final word to break it down. And what I want to break down for you, since I was looking over my shoulder, and I do have to acknowledge how great the Cincinnati Bengals are. I want people to understand how great Pittsburgh is going to do this year. And I know Pittsburgh's catching a lot of hate. I understand that Deontay Johnson only got like 87 out of like 147 targets, something like that. Don't throw it to Stonehands. But we already talked about, so did the Rookie of the Year. Those got the same numbers. You want yay for the Rookie of the Year, but boo for Deontay Johnson. Come on, man. You can't have both. Look, Pittsburgh's got San Francisco in week 1. They don't even know who the damn quarterback's going to be. They got to play Cleveland. They got to play Las Vegas, Houston. They play 2 against Baltimore. They got the Rams. They are going to have to play Jacksonville. They got Tennessee. They got Green Bay. They got Arizona. They got the Bill Belichick defense, but I think they can take them. They got Indy. And, yeah, they got to play Cincinnati twice. But, look, you take all those out and you're still in double-digit wins. I got them as a fan at 13-4, and realistically, I got them at least at 11 wins. I got them second in the division, and I got them putting up some numbers for you. Pittsburgh, I know you guys don't want to acknowledge how well they're going to do, but you cannot deny the schedule. You cannot deny the potential skill set. Najee Harris never missed a game, and they're going to run the ball more than they used to. Watch out for Pittsburgh because they're going to the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs. Maybe not Super Bowl. They're going to playoffs. Hey, guys, I hope you guys had a great time tonight. We had a great time. Come back and see us never miss a show. The best way to do that, like and subscribe. Ring that little bell, ding, 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 and come back and see us here on the Throwdown. Catch all the great entertainment at Fantasy Sports Core. Don't forget to head over to Underdog and get your free $100, up to $100 match with code Throwdown. Type in those little letters, Throwdown, get yourself a free hundy. If you throw a free hundy in yourself, no problem. We are going to see you guys next week. We love you. Thank you so much, guys, for coming, and we will see you guys next week. Fantasy Sports Core, Throwdown. For Jordan, I'm Chris Fox. We out.